Tens of thousands of students in Bangladesh have come together in a national unity for 5 consecutive days now. Okay, they're protesting about 2 teenagers who were killed in a bus accident. The demonstrators, who are mostly teenagers from about school age, have all come together and have defied the weather of the pouring rain and brought Dhaka to a standstill. There are reports that some of the protesters have been checking drivers for their documents and identity documents and their licenses, because this is all part of the kind of drive and the momentum to create change, to create a better transport system in Bangladesh. So we have a quote from a protester called Mohammed Sitaf. We don't want any vehicles without licenses on the streets. Those unfit to drive should not get licenses. And we do not want underage motorists driving public transport. And this is kind of the national kind of belief, and that is that after this bus accident, this is what needs to change. We need to stop having people who don't have licenses, people who are underage driving, because it just creates more accidents and more deaths, and it makes it more dangerous. So on Wednesday, the Home Minister said the government would launch a public campaign on transport, a safety campaign to reform the transportation and change it and revolutionize it, so then they can have a much safer and much better environment as to have transport. So what's interesting is these protesters did not have a singular spokesperson or a leader. Instead, it was rather a national movement of change where everyone who partook had the drive of change, but also peace. As never in the last 5 days has violence broken out, which is probably one of the greatest things to come of this, is the fact that so many people have got involved, so many people have the same beliefs, and it's all been done in peace. If you want to stand up for what you believe in, you want to create that change, peace is always the way. Never through violence and anger can things get done. So the question, of course, is for outside listeners, why transport? So researchers from the National Council of Shipping, Railway and Roads said just last year alone, 4,200 people were killed, which is just a quarter of what it was the previous year. So this is a massive issue that they have in Bangladesh. And it's often said that the Bangladesh transport sector is widely perceived as corrupt, unregulated and dangerous. Okay, many drivers perhaps don't have the correct licensing, they don't have the correct paperwork, or perhaps they're underage. And so this is this whole drive by the people to protest and revolutionize this transport system to make it safer and put these regulations in to, in effect, modernize the country and make it a lot safer for people. But of course the question is, what can we learn from Bangladesh? Now Bangladesh is, they've had two of these united movements in just the last year alone. The other one was about the education sector, and now we've got one on the transport sector. Okay, we made a video on the last one as well, which you should check out. So they do what we at Project Utopia and what we believe the world should be doing. Okay, they as people are standing up for what they believe in. Okay, you know, around the world we have many issues. In the UK we have lies, we have corruption, we have injustice, but we just sit there and absorb it and just let it happen. In fact, the reason we created Project Utopia was to try and make a stand against this corruption and injustice that we see in the UK. Okay, and the people of Bangladesh embody that revolution aspect and mindset and say, if this is wrong, we should change it. In Bangladesh, it seems that the people have as much power as the government, and that's what it should be. If something's wrong, people should speak up for it, and they should change what they're doing. So in the spirit of Bangladesh and that, we take that momentum and we want to apply it to the UK, where we can then stand up against the injustice and the weak government that we have, to revolutionise and modernise and change the way the government is working. And to Bangladesh, I'll say this: continue with what you're doing with full momentum, as you have perfectly done for the last 5 days. Get as many people as you can involved. The world is now listening to you. Just recently, BBC News, Al Jazeera and Forbes have picked up the story, and now the international news is seeing what you're doing. More need to know of your colossal efforts, okay? Because what you're doing is what everyone needs to be doing around the world. Stand up for yourself, stand up for what you believe in, and change the way that things are going. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned and look out for stories about Bangladesh. Follow the hashtag #WeWantJustice, because it's very interesting to watch, and it's very it's awesome to support them and what they're doing. And so please, share around the message of the Bangladesh Revolution. Get the world knowing what they're doing. Thank you very much.